know this is a time of uncertainty, as many companies grapple with the impact of COVID-19. That's why we're aiming to help businesses in this series of videos with advice and support from business owners and professionals on how to deal with these challenges, reminding us that we're all in this together.
My name is Kifilwe Murubane, and I'm the founder and managing director of Giving Wings. So one of the problems that I've realized in society is that a lot of people, particularly professionals, entrepreneurs, do what is required, they're present in their work, but very few people are showing up. And what do I mean by showing up? I define showing up as being brave, bold, intentional, and putting your best self forward. And let me clarify this, that showing up is not easy. Showing up is hard work. And that's why a lot of people over the years, through the work that I've been doing as a facilitator, a communication specialist, and a social entrepreneur, I find a lot of people are present, but very few are showing up. And I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs, professionals to show up, take hold of opportunities that are available, and also to thrive beyond the challenges that come their way. So the reality is this: as a globe, as a world, as a society, we are faced with a crisis. Never in anyone's wildest dream did we ever envision that this is where we'd find ourselves as a nation, as entrepreneurs. And now more than ever, do we need to show up as a nation, but most importantly, as human beings, do we also need to show up to this crisis that has hit our nation? And how do we show up in the midst of a crisis? What are the tools? What are the ways in which we can navigate this unknown territory that we find ourselves in, that at times, and I speak from my own experience, is frightening, is scary, it's unsettling. What do we do? Well, my tips, the first one I'd say is to stop and be grateful. Stop and appreciate even the little things that you have at this current moment. And that's one thing I've learned in this journey of this crisis that we find ourselves in, is that what do I have at my disposal right now that I need to be grateful for? And that is a mindset that you need to cultivate beyond the storm that we find ourselves in. So it's gratitude for my life, just the opportunity to be alive today and witness a new day, the gratitude to appreciate my family, appreciate the meal that I was able to help, or even somebody out there within my community that I can help. And when you operate in a state of gratitude, you're also just building your immune system, the vibration that you're bringing out into this world that rises above the fear, and the fear that can be so crippling, that can have dire consequences on our health and even our state of mind. So with the 21-day lockdown, it is essential that we all take care of ourselves in some way or form during this period. And how can you do that? The first one is nutrition. So be so cautious about what you consume during this period, because now more than ever, we need our health to carry us through this crisis. So eat as much green as possible, nutritious the vegetables, drink a lot of water, stock up on your vitamin C's, just to build your immune system, because that is really what's going to carry us through this season. And then also the importance of keeping active in some way or form. So whether at restricted time, adhering to self-distancing, take a walk around your house, or even just a jog in the house, up and down, skipping rope, just to keep the movement going. And then also just be cautious of what we mentally consume. So what is the information that you are consuming on a daily basis. So definitely be aware of the statistics, be aware of the crucial information regarding this crisis, but also don't be so consumed in the media and the negative report, because that will then be a vibration that you operate with. You will see no hope beyond this crisis. You will believe that it's all doom and gloom. But if you discipline yourself of how much intake you will have of this, how many times you go onto social media, because also if you're spending your whole day consumed in these devices, you're not able to be productive with the time that you have available to you. So it's also about just limiting the consumption of information around this crisis. I am such a believer around using your imagination during times of crisis. And how I look at this crisis is that a lot of us, particularly entrepreneurs, we have been stretched. We are out of our comfort zone. For many of us, we were used to a routine, a predictability of clients, a certain amount of inflow and work. And now all of that has been disrupted. And at times you need to have this mindset that through disruption, through a crisis, I can be stretched, and by being stretched, the greatest potential that lies within me can come out. So during this time, I would really encourage a lot of entrepreneurs to stretch their imagination, envision a life that is post this crisis. Envision that the hopes and dreams you had in the beginning of the year, please don't let them die. And I'm cognizant of how challenging the times are right now, but all the crises that have ever taken place across the world, at one point or another, the crisis did not last forever. This is going to be a certain period in our lifetime that we have to just persevere. We have to be resilient. But can we also, in this time, in these 21 days, envision a life post the crisis? Use our imagination, use our skill sets to develop solutions, identify what's a problem in society. For many of us, who never thought of utilizing technology to its optimum, now is the time for us to think bigger, think beyond what we currently have. And post this crisis, we need to develop solutions and offer them to potential clients. So one of my favorite saying is that motho ke motho ka batho. I am because you are. And now more than ever, we need to build and gather our community, because it is our community that is going to carry us through this crisis. I acknowledge we are in self-distancing, but we're not in isolation. We should not lock ourselves up and pretend as though we do not exist with the rest of the world. So in building our community, look for people around who can be your advisors, your mentors, your coaches, your friends, your family, who you can reach out to and be vulnerable. Be vulnerable at times when it is overwhelming. That happens to all of us, where you actually don't know whether you're coming or whether you're going. And in this community, you can connect with them using various tools, whether it's digital tools, whether it's a telephonic call, just to proactively reach out to them for support, while at the same time, you can also support them. Now more than ever, it's about checking up on our fellow entrepreneurs. How are you? How can we motivate each other? What are the books that you are reading to fill your mindset up? It's discussing topics around, I have this business idea. What do you think about it? I look at myself in my own personal life, my sister, who's my business partner, but she's also my coach. And throughout this crisis, she has kept me accountable to a goal that I've set for myself, because within these 21 days, God be willing, I still have my life, I'm also very intentional about how I will use my time. But I've had somebody to keep me accountable for that. So it's really around having people to keep you accountable, whether it's your partner, and utilizing that network and that community to discuss ideas with them, to be vulnerable with them about the challenges that you're facing, and then also to reach out to them for support. Because a lot of entrepreneurs right now, we are feeling the financial strain, the resources that we are having to put together during this crisis. But people will not know that we're going through these challenges if we do not communicate. So now more than ever, it is important that we communicate. Communicate with your accountant, communicate with your bank if you have loans with them, so that they can understand how they can help you and what resources are available to support you in this crisis. Our president has communicated to us that there is support available during this crisis. There are various platforms available. And what we need to do as entrepreneurs is to be proactive. Be the first, as soon as the platform opens for application, try your best to be as early as possible, submit your application, be very deliberate in how you complete that application process, making sure that you are as detailed as possible, avoiding any mistakes in your application, and just making use of the resources out there. And in closing, as I said earlier on, is that showing up is hard work. Showing up is about being brave, bold, intentional, and putting your best self forward. And in these very, very challenging times, what we need most importantly is to be brave in a sense that we are rising above the fear. We should realize that it is critical for us to not fear, because if we fear so much about this crisis, we find us in a very debilitating state. So let us show up. Let's not allow fear to take over. Let's be bold enough to approach people for support, bold enough to build our community and to help those around us who we can support. And at all times, let's try our level best to be positive, to imagine a life that is beyond this crisis, and just to reach out to each other and just show up. If anyone would like to get a hold of myself and the Giving Wings team, you're more than welcome to visit our website. It's www.givingwings.co.za.
Stay tuned for more videos and podcasts to follow over the next days and weeks. We'll be tackling topics to help you sustain your business, and we'll keep you informed with industry insights from financial experts as the situation unfolds. Let us know what you'd like to hear more about in the comment section below.